Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to a new episode of Far From Home, a talk with a friend abroad. Our guest this afternoon is well known in Malta, I would say, and is Dana Carmont.
Thank you.
Now she will tell us, because she is Australian living in Malta, but actually her story is also a little bit complicated, and currently she is in Bali. So the first question is actually how you ended up in Malta, but also why are you in Bali now? Welcome, Dana.
Well, that's really the answer, Viviana. Thank you for having me on this afternoon as well. Hello, everyone in Malta. Hope you're all doing well. Well, I ended up in Malta about 3 years ago. My mother is Maltese. My dad's from New Zealand. My mum moved there approximately probably 13 years ago now. And I was living in Bali at the time when mum moved over. We went and visited her on a trip. This was 3 years ago, and thought to ourselves, Tez and I went along, and I had, mind you, going back, a while before then, I did go and visit her 13 years ago when she first moved there. Really wasn't the place for me to be at that time, living in Sydney, and I had a personal training business with my kids, and I thought, well, Malta's not just on top of what I was up to at the moment, so I'll come back in a couple of years' time. So literally 3 years ago, which was 10 years after, I visited mum, fell in love with the place again because it was moving forward with a lot of things, and I was up to pace with everything I was wanting to do. And my husband and I opened up a bar, which is called Wasp, and it all just happened very, very quickly. Visited mum and said, Mum, we're going to move here. She's like, what? So literally in 3 months of the visit, we packed up here in Bali and moved over to Malta. And then from there, it's just been an amazing journey for us. It's been great being closer to mum too, although my kids still live in Australia. They're old enough, and they live over there themselves. And then just recently, about 3 months ago, we decided to take a trip to Bali to buy some more homewares for our homeware store. My daughter and my son, it was their birthday it was 4 weeks beforehand that we decided to come. And they were the kid's father said that he was going to hold a surprise birthday party for my daughter who was turning 18. So I thought, you know what, this is brilliant. I'll organise a birthday trip to see my daughter as a surprise and chuck in the Bali holiday on the way through, because as most people know, Australia is, it's kind of like second home for people to come to Bali. So I was very excited. My daughter didn't know anything about the surprise birthday visit. She didn't know I was coming to Australia at all. So it was probably a week beforehand. We arrived in Bali on the 10th of March. I was supposed to be leaving to go and see my daughter on the 1st of April. Without her knowing, I was going to be staying with Terry's mum for a few days, and then I was going to head over to her birthday party and surprise her, which was all well organised.
Would they say that?
And then, yes, from Bali. And then flights started getting cancelled from Bali to Australia. So this is when the pandemic was actually announced, and we were like, oh my God, this can't be real. Seriously, no way. We can get there soon enough before the birthday is due. And unfortunately, no, we couldn't make it. They were really stopping people going through. And then when they did, from Bali to Australia, you actually had to quarantine for 2 weeks. So for me, it wasn't even worth my while going there because I would have had to be in quarantine. I wouldn't send my daughter anyway. And then it was 6 days after my daughter's birthday on the 4th. It was my son. So I was doing a double whammy. It was his 22nd birthday. It was her 18th. So I didn't get to see either of them. Yeah. So then things started to become a little bit strange on this end, being in Bali. Like, everyone kept saying that there was all these things happening here and that it was quite serious. But we didn't see any of that, because where we were staying in Ubud, in a place called Ubud, which is kind of like the God's place to be, with the forest and the rainfalls and the waterfalls and all that sort of stuff. you just didn't see or think anything of it. So as time went on, our flights kept getting cancelled, and we'll say, look, we'll take the next flight. And then that was it. Bali decided to close their airports. Malta closed their airports as well. So we've been here ever since. And we keep getting told that every time we book our ticket to go back, which is through the airline that we've been with, have been fantastic. But we're hoping to be back on the 1st of June, but, you know, that's just fingers crossed. We just don't know what's going to happen, and it's just at a weird moment in our life at the moment, which we're enjoying. So can't complain. Feel sad, but can't complain.
Yes, I think that is a good point. So it's really, let's say, an international family and international life. And actually, this is also what happened when, like, the perfect plan, actually, it didn't go through. But as you mentioned, like, it's not a bad place to stay, even because maybe for you it's kind of home. This talk is also like far from home. So the question is also, in your case, where do you feel home? Also, Bali can be home for you, is home for you?
Yes. Well, look, I will be. When we lived here before for 2 years, we got to know the area, and we got to know quite a lot of people, and we lived with a Balinese family. So we were very blessed to know people when we arrived here. And the support of everyone around here is amazing too. So, you know, everyone's so concerned about trying to get home. But, you know, as things happen, we can't force things. So being here for us has been a breath of fresh air. I think if we were caught somewhere else that we didn't know, I think it would be very hard for us to cope with it than what we are now. So being here, as I said, feels like home. So it's not so much of a burden on us. So we know the places, we know where to eat cheaply, we know, we just know the area, so we feel safe as well.
Yeah. Yes, and then I think, as you mentioned before, and also we discussed, like, before starting the call, sometimes you think it's not real, because actually where you are or the way you're living, it seems that is fine, nice, even like good. But at the same time, like, the flights are cancelled, the airports are closed, so there is something bigger out there. And so inside yourself, you have like these mixed feelings. Yeah, you have to keep enjoy your day, but at the same time, again, there's something bigger around us that we cannot control. So that feeling sometimes is a roller coaster.
Oh, definitely. I think once our flights got cancelled the third time, I went through a really bad emotional roller coaster. I was really depressed for a few days. I felt really sad because I didn't get to see my kids, and, you know, it started to really set in. And I get a bit teary-eyed about it because, you know, it's just we are far from family. So, you know, I hadn't seen my kids for a year, and I was looking forward to seeing them. And also, because I'm not close to my mum, he being here too. So sorry, I'm going to get a bit teary-eyed. But you know, it's just reality. And you go on these roller coaster rides, and you just think to yourself, okay, you know, you've got all this time to actually look after yourself a bit more, spend some time with. I mean, I'm very blessed that Tez is with me, because we nearly got separated because he wasn't going to come to Australia. He was actually going to leave from Bali to go back home to look after Wasp. So we hadn't planned on us, you know, staying here. So I was going to go back to Australia. He was going to go back to back to Malta to look after Wasp. And then I was going to return 2 weeks later. So I was very lucky I didn't get separated, because I would have been stuck somewhere along the line of, you know, not us being together and being maybe on my own if I didn't get to Australia. So,
thank you very much for sharing.
And they're the things that we think about. Yeah, we were like, oh my goodness, you know, we could have been separated for months and months, and I could have been on my own, you could have been on your own, and didn't know where we'd be.
Thank you for sharing, and I'm sending a big virtual hug. But I think this was also the aim of the talk, because we are really getting through, like, a lot of emotions, and if like everything seems fine, or we are like stronger women in business, but still there is a lot going on a personal level, and the uncertainty, and the family split all around, like your kids, your mom. And again, there's nothing we can do. I'm closer, but at the same time, the airport is closed. I decided to stay in Malta. I don't know when I'm gonna see my family. I know I can go to walk to the beach and will be great, but what I would like to do is go back and see my family more than going to the beach. So it's complicated, all these emotions going on.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And I guess like the weird thing is too, like, you know, you get to speak to your friends and stuff on you know, platforms like this, and you just look at each other and just go, is this really happening? Like, normally we'd be sitting around a table drinking a glass of wine together, or, you know, sharing a cheese board or doing something, and it's like, okay, but we're all catching up on these platforms now, and, you know, it feels strange, but you're all always still so close as well at the same time. But, you know, it's just a different way of how we're coping with everything at the moment. So I guess we're blessed that we have all these amazing platforms to keep in contact with. You know, like even talking to you now, Viviana, it feels like we're just, you know, having a cup of coffee.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
But I can't wait to get back to WASP and having their coffee.
Yes, I know. You know what? I'm going to be completely upright with this. I have never said this before in regards to food, but I have never missed my olives and sun-dried tomatoes and anything that's like European, because we just keep eating rice because we're both vegan. This is like rice and a little bit of spinach and a little bit, because there's not a lot of variety here. So hopefully we'll lose a bit of weight too. So.
Yeah, it's also interesting because, and I think in your case maybe even more, but it's also a time of like discovering something new about yourself or something about yourself, and also the way you have changed through the years. So as you just mentioned, so you discover yourself more European maybe than, or
yeah, I do love the Asian food. I love it, but we just don't have choice. Like it's kind of like you know, you sort of take for granted that you can just go into Lidl and buy a jar of olives for like €2 or something, where if you buy them here, they're like, you know, €8 for a little jar. And you're like, I don't know, I think I'll just wait till I get home because they don't look that tasty.
Yeah, that's true. And we already mentioned a little bit like the challenges that are like personally, professionally. I don't know if there is anything else that have been like a challenge for you, or the business also you are involved. You are doing a lot in supporting women in business here in Malta, and you're still doing, but of course also the business probably have been affected, or
Yes. It's been really hard actually being here. Like being home in Malta, it's, you know, you're sort of close to everyone, a little bit more hands-on. The time difference here is 6 hours, so I kind of miss a lot of what goes on in between when everyone's up in Malta to when, like, it's 10:30 p.m. here now. So, you know, I'm actually up very late. So, but the time difference is very hard for me to try and do business stuff back in Malta, trying to keep in contact with everyone too, because by the time everyone gets up, I'm up with my day to go out and do things, because there's still there's shops that are open here that we can go and look for homewares for before they close down again. So they kind of open and close. So and I feel very what's the word I feel a little bit behind in things, because I love to be on top of things when I have businesses, and I feel like I've kind of lost a few legs along the way because I'm not in complete contact with everyone. And as I said, the time distance is quite hard. Trying to monitor things as well and trying to keep on top of what everyone's doing in Malta is quite hard for me at the moment. So I do try my best to do what I can and reach out to a lot of the women that I do work with to see how they're all going, and try and come up with new ideas. But it is, I mean, even though you've got, I know it seems like you've got it, I feel like I don't have a lot of time on my hands. I think it's because I'm always thinking of new things to do. So, because I like to keep busy. And while I'm here with the homewares, it's been quite a really lovely journey for me here, because it's a different creativity. So I'm really enjoying that. And then I can't do anything with my bikinis because I have no design table. I have no glue to put on diamantes onto my bikinis because I ran out of glue and they don't sell it here, and I can't get it in the post. So there's a lot of things that have been a lot of hurdles for me in regards to business. Obviously, I'm not doing as many sales with my bikinis because all the bodybuilding comps are being cancelled, and that's normally my main line of business. So it's been a real funny time for me with business at the moment, but you still keep trying to come up, myself and Tess is great too, where we try and come up with new things to keep us inspired. Like, we did some face masks, we call them fashion covers, with some really inspiring and funny prints on them, happy prints we call them. And just finding new things here that we go, oh gosh, this would be great back in Malta, So we're trying to keep ourselves motivated and inspired by doing all the different things. But as I said, it's quite an arm's reach for me to do a lot of things at the same time. So I'm doing my best to keep myself going and motivated.
Yes. I know, but I can say, I think also for the other, that we can still feel your support. Also, just like checking in with the short video was great to see you. And because really, I think that, we're also, worried about you, and we hope you will be back soon. But then I'm also like you, so I want to keep myself busy. I want to see things like moving and happening. And this time is strange because I think also I have a lot of, ideas or creativity related maybe to my business, but at the same time, I cannot do everything that I would like to do, or I have to do it in a different way. So online, exactly. And maybe something is missing. And I can feel a little bit the same, but at the same time, you already came up with new ideas, and I think that was also kind of resources and your creativity, putting your creativity into something for the moment.
Exactly, and that's the thing with where we are right now in Bali. It's a showroom of amazing things. Like, there's just so many great things here that you just wouldn't see, but you have to have the time to do it. So it's just a blessing that we're here to be able to see more than what we normally would, because it's an inspiring place. Let me put it that way. It's a very inspiring place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems. Do you want to spend a few more words on, because WASP since the beginning was also linked to Bali in a way, and now maybe even more if you will manage to bring some new stuff from Bali to Malta.
Yes. Well, that's what WASP, the wine and cheese bar in Carmont, is Balinese inspired. So that's what gave us the inspiration to open the bar. Besides Tez loving Vespers, and hence the name WASP, meaning Vesper, we came up with the wine and cheese concept, so we could still have a European feel, but then also have the Bali inspiration around it. So we have the gorgeous homewares inside inside WASP, and that's now probably coming up to, it's the 2.5 years now. And Tez and I love the place. We have met so many people through WASP. Like, it's actually like our own dining room / lounge room and house where everyone sort of comes into our personal inspirational place, and we get to know everyone, and that's how the business built. And we were so blessed to meet so many amazing people, and that helped us build the business just from bringing other friends, and it was all word of mouth. And we do miss it a lot, to be honest with you. We keep saying, oh gosh, Thursday night, we should be open by now, and it's all booked, So it's just weird not having that sense of knowing what day it is too, because we knew every day was a particular day because we'd have things sorted out. Whereas now it's kind of like, what day is it? What month is it? So it's really strange.
Yes, I think we're really which days and which month. I think it's strange. The time idea or the time management for everyone is strange, or the only day you're checking in the airport when it will be open. But I think that WASP is a great concept, and I think it is for Malta, and especially in this time, because it's kind of there is a word let's say inside a small place, but it's so international in itself and inspirational in itself. And one thing we have done this year was the team building. I would have liked to organize in WASP, but unfortunately due to this COVID-19, everything was cancelled. But we hope that this will happen in the future.
Well, and it's funny that it was quite a weird situation when we found out that all the bars and restaurants were closed in Malta. We were like, what? This is crazy. And then everyone else started closing. Even here in Bali, they've closed a lot of things down, which is what's going on around the world. But to think that so many businesses can be closed down and everything closed down, it's just strange. Like, I still can't believe it. I still keep going, hold on a second. I don't know what to think.
And what about the resources? Again, we already mentioned a couple, but did you like discover something new or maybe something old that you are using now as a resource to cope in this time or for the future?
It's funny because there's so many different things where you sort of know that something's missing, and then there's something else that you pick up on to be able to cover different resources. So I think in the situation that we're in now, and us trying to keep ourselves in a positive aspect and things like that, I think any resource that sort of comes forward to us and that's sort of we get introduced to, like, okay, well, let's try that, or that's not going to work for us. So yeah, look, there's so many different things at the moment. So I feel like there's an opportunity for lots of different things.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I think this is also what, if you can see the things in that way. So of course it's complicated, and we don't want to be like positive at all costs. So, but we want to have hope, and also you can see this time as an opportunity. You can see what is around you as an opportunity. You can see new relationships as an opportunity. Maybe it's a way to like cope and see what's next.
Exactly. That's just it. And as I keep saying, I feel I'm so glad that Tez is with me, because he's like he's my rock. And without him, I don't know where I would be right now if I was to be on my own, or not have him to remind me that everything's going to be okay, because you have so many different things going on in your head, and it's kind of like, oh, really, and then he said, hey, come on, we do it to each other, but he's more to me because I'm the one that's always like, oh, but what about this, and oh, what about that? So I think it's important also to have that friendship with someone that you can lean upon and feel confident and trustworthy with as well in a time like this.
Absolutely, yes. I think this is something also, like in other talks we realize it's important, and this is the idea also of the talk. Let's say to check with someone that you can like trust and rely and can be your rock, or someone that can like support you in, or just sharing and like reassure you that everything will gonna be fine, or that now you are fine, because if you consider what you have, we are kind of fine, because we can be in a worse situation. So no, that's extremely
exactly
good. We are almost at the end of our talk, and now is also late for you, so thank you again for joining. And there is now the message.
You're welcome.
The message in your language to your country, and so in your case, feel free to send the message to the country you want to send the message.
Well, I like to spread the message to everybody in every country and in all the wonderful places in the world, that everyone will get through this. Keep your head up high, do the things that you love doing at the moment, because you may not be able to do them later on when things get back to normal. And tell the person that you love and everyone that you love them, because I think at this time people need to know that as well.
Great.
And I love you.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Again,
thank you so much, Viviana, for having me.
Hope to see you.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, me too.
And good night.
Thanks again.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye.